Well, they can't help it. Falling for you just feels way too easy. Well, today's reading is for somebody who is dealing with a crush or a current special person. Somebody who maybe is entering your energy soon for somebody out there. Well, so yeah, just take what resonates and leave the rest. But Spirit wants you to know something, that the energy coming through today is surprisingly sweet. I heard sweet as candy. Well, this feels like someone's like Didi who really just keeps on finding themselves smiling when they think about you. Somebody who is like realizing that it is so easy to fall in love with you. Well, why does it feel so natural to be around you? Well, so I kind of feel like that's the whole theme of this reading today. Somebody here just feels very, very natural when they're with you, and it kind of scares them a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Well, I'm hearing that song right now. Well, it's by Olivia Dean, So Easy to Fall in Love. So, well, you may want to listen to that song, because I think that has some messages in there from your person to you. When easy feels terrifying, we have been taught somewhere along the way, well, that love is supposed to be hard. Well, that the butterflies and the anxiety and the sleepless nights spent wondering where you stand are just part of the experience. Well, that if it does not feel slightly like standing at the edge of something's dangerous, it probably does not mean enough. Well, we absorbed this idea so completely from movies and songs and watching the people around us that it became our internal measuring stick for whether something was real. Well, so when something arrives that feels easy, genuinely, quietly, disarmingly easy, the first instinct is not relief. The first instinct is suspicion. Well, this person who has been falling for you, the one who cannot stop smiling when you cross their mind, well, the one who noticed the way your eyes change when you talk about something you love, they are not just experiencing attraction. Well, they are experiencing something that is quietly dismantling every assumption they ever held about what love is supposed to feel like. Well, and that is a more complex experience than it appears from the outside. Well, because here is what nobody says about falling easily for someone. It is frightening in a way that is almost impossible to explain to another person. Not frightening like danger. Well, frightening like standing in a vast open field when you have spent your whole life in narrow corridors. Frightening like suddenly having too much room to breathe when your lungs had adjusted to less. Well, the ease itself is the thing that unnerves them. They came into whatever this is, however it started, with a certain set of expectations. Well, maybe they had been hurt before and built their defenses accordingly. Maybe they had simply learned through enough experience to brace themselves whenever something good appeared on the horizon. Well, people do this without realizing it. Well, they develop a kind of emotional anticipatory tension, a constant low levelers readiness for disappointment, because the world has taught them that hope tends to cost something eventually. Well, and then you arrived, and nothing about being around you required them to brace. You were just easy. Not simple, not shallow. Easy in the way that a long exhale is easy. Well, in the way that a familiar song playing unexpectedly in a quiet room is easy. Well, you made them feel accepted before they had consciously offered you anything real, and that threw them in a way they are still processing. Well, because here is the hidden psychological truth underneath all of this warmth and all of this falling. Receiving genuine acceptance is one of the most emotionally destabilizing things a human being can experience, especially when they have spent a long time without it. Think about what acceptance actually asks of a person. It asks them to believe they are worth accepting. And for someone who has been quietly carrying the belief, unspoken, maybe even unacknowledged, that they need to earn their place in someone's regard, that they need to be impressive enough or entertaining enough or useful enough to justify the space they take up in another person's life. For that person, unconditional acceptance does not just feel good. It feels unsafe, not because they distrust you, but because they distrust the feeling itself. Because they have wanted to feel this way before, and it did not last, and the memory of that loss lives in the body long after the mind has moved on. And so even as they are falling, even as every conversation pulls them deeper, and every shared smile settles something restless inside them, there is a quiet voice underneath all of it asking, how long before this changes? How long before I discover the condition I did not see? They have not told you about that voice. They probably have not told anyone. And you, without knowing any of this, keep being exactly yourself. And every time you do, that voice gets a little quieter. That is the thing you may not fully understand about the effect you have on this person. Every moment of genuine connection you offer them is not just pleasant, it is evidence. It is data that slowly contradicts the story they have been carrying about how love tends to work. Every time you laugh at something real instead of something performed. Every time you notice a detail about them that they thought nobody was paying attention to. Every time you make space for the version of them that usually stays hidden, you are not just making them feel good. You are making them reconsider everything they thought they knew about what they deserve. That is not a small thing. That is actually a profound and quietly radical act, even though you are not doing it intentionally. You are simply being yourself. And yourself, the full, layered, warm, confident, unpretentious self that they keep discovering new dimensions of is doing something to their inner world that they cannot quite name yet, but can absolutely feel. Here is the deep realization that sits at the center of all of this, the one worth pausing on. The reason falling for you feels so natural to them is not just chemistry. It is not just compatibility, though both of those things are real. The reason it feels so natural is that you are showing them through the simple and consistent act of being who you are, that they never had to try so hard in the first place. Every relationship where they performed, every connection where they monitored themselves, measured their words, calculated how much of themselves to reveal and how much to protect. Every time they loved carefully because loving fully had cost them something, all of that exhausting, invisible effort is suddenly thrown into sharp relief by how different this feels. And that contrast is not entirely comfortable. Because realizing you have been bracing for a long time is its own kind of grief. There is a moment, maybe they have already had it, maybe it is still coming, where this person will be in the middle of something completely ordinary. Driving somewhere, making coffee, staring out a window, and the thought of you will arrive the way it always does without invitation. And instead of the usual spiral of wondering and hoping and second guessing, there will just be warmth, simple, uncomplicated warmth. And they will realize in that quiet moment that they are not afraid right now. And then they will realize that they have been afraid for a very long time. And both realizations will arrive together the way grief and gratitude often do, inseparable, one making the other more vivid by contrast. This is why they want the mundane with you. This is the piece that seems small, but is actually everything. The grocery runs and the inside jokes and the late night conversations and the ordinary Tuesday evenings, they want those things not because they lack imagination or ambition about what love could be. They want those things because ordinary moments with the wrong person feel unbearably lonely. And they already know somehow in that wordless way, the body knows things before the mind catches up, that ordinary moments with you would feel like the opposite of lonely. They would feel like arriving somewhere. They have been trying to get somewhere for a long time. Not a destination they could name or point to on a map, just a feeling. The feeling of being in the right place with the right person without having to convince themselves it is right. Without having to talk themselves into it or push through the doubt or hope that eventually it would start to feel the way it was supposed to feel. They want the thing that does not require convincing. And you are the first person in a long time who has made them feel like that might actually exist. So when they think about taking action, when the impulse rises to close the distance between what they feel and what they have actually said out loud, understands that this too is more layered than, well, it appears. Well, it is not simply the excitement of pursuit. It is something quieter and more significant than that. It is a person deciding, consciously or not, to trust the ease, to stop waiting for the difficulty, to stop scanning for the catch, to let themselves believe, against everything their experiences has taught them, that something this natural does not have to mean something is missing. That calm is not the same as complacency. That the absence of anxiety is not the absence of depth. That a love which feels like breathing is not a love that is somehow less real than one that feels like holding your breath. That is the decision they are moving toward. Slowly, the way all genuinely brave decisions move, not in a dramatic rush, but in a gradual leaning, an incremental opening, a series of small moments where they choose you again and again without quite announcing that is what they are doing. And perhaps that is the most important thing to understand about all of it. Not the falling itself. That part is visible, even if this person tries to keep it quiet. But the decision underneath the falling, the quiet daily choice to remain open to something that feels unfamiliarly safe. That choice takes courage of a very specific kind. Not the dramatic, sweeping courage of grand gestures. The steady, unglamorous courage of someone who has been careful for a long time, deciding that you are worth the risk of being careless. Worth the risk of hoping without a safety net. Worth the risk of wanting the whole thing, the good days and the hard ones, the exciting moments, and the grocery run, some use the inside jokes, and the 2 a.m. conversations, and the ordinary Wednesday mornings that become, with the right person, the moments you never forget. They are falling for all of it. For all of you. And the ease of that falling is not a sign that it means less. It is a sign that it finally, quietly means everything. Dear soul, if these words found you at this exact moment, please don't dismiss them. Maybe your heart has been carrying something you haven't been able to explain. Maybe you've smiled in front of everyone while quietly wondering when your own breakthrough, your own answered prayer, your own moment of happiness would finally come. So before you leave, breathe deeply and receive this with your whole heart. Say this out loud. I am chosen. I am loved. I am not forgotten. God has not abandoned my story. What is meant for me is still finding its way to me. My heart will heal. My prayers will be answered. And my story is still being written. Say it one more time. Not because you have everything figured out, but because you are choosing to believe even when you cannot see what is happening behind the scenes. There were moments when you thought nothing was changing, moments when you prayed and heard nothing. Moments when you watched other people receive the very things you had been asking God for, and somewhere inside you quietly wondered, when will it finally be my turn? But your waiting was never proof that you were forgotten. Some things had to happen in silence. Some doors had to close. Some people had to leave. Some chapters had to end so that your life could make room for what God was preparing next. Your story is not over. The tears you cried when nobody was watching were not meaningless, since the nights you survived when you felt completely alone were not wasted. Every time you chose hope when giving up would have been easier, something inside you was becoming stronger. So let this truth settle into your heart. You are still chosen. You are still worthy of love. You are still worthy of happiness. And there is still more waiting for you. If this message touched something deep inside, share it with someone else. Share it with someone else. Because there may be someone watching right now who is only one moment of encouragement away from giving up. Someone who has been silently asking, does God still see me? Someone who needs to hear that their pain is not the end of their story. Your share could reach them at exactly the right moment. And if you feel genuinely led to support this mission of spreading messages of faith, hope, and encouragement, you can do so through a super thanks. Whether it is $5, $10, $20, or whatever amount is placed upon your heart, your support helps these messages continue reaching people who may be hurting in silence. May God see the heart behind every gift. May He bless every giver abundantly, restore what has been lost, strengthen what has become weak, and bring peace into the places where anxiety once lived. May the prayers you have whispered in secret become testimonies you will one day speak about with tears of gratitude. And when that day comes, I pray you remember this moment. Remember when you almost gave up. Remember when you couldn't see a way forward. Remember when all you had left was faith. Because sometimes the chapter that feels the most painful is the chapter that comes right before everything begins to change. So hold on, dear soul. Keep believing. Keep praying. Keep walking. Your story is still being written. And perhaps the most beautiful part of it hasn't happened yet. I can't even hold it back. Someone, the way that this person is viewing you right now, the way that this person sees you, the way that you are about to, I'm just hearing like they want to show you off. You are literally not the same person. You are not the same person that you were when this person met you. There's something about your energy that has made such a dramatic shift. It's like I'm seeing more than, first of all, I'm seeing more than one person's attention on you. And with the Seven of Pentacles coming out, you have done such an amazing job of like detaching from needing someone outside of you to validate who you are. And because of this energy that you've completely shifted into, yeah, Empress energy, this person is seeing you in a completely new light. Seven of Wands. Okay. Now, there is something from the past that you're being asked to like just really stay disconnected from. So this is your confirmation. Stay disconnected from whatever it is in your past that you left for a reason. Remember the reason why. I need you to remember the reason why. Because we have this Empress energy and the Four of Cups. Now, you might, even in like this glorious state of being that you're in, you might be in a period of waiting, of trusting, of needing to have faith that this person is coming in for you to like really shake things up in your life. And that's specifically the words I'm being told to use. This person is coming in to really, it's like rearrange. This person is going to inspire you. This person is going to inspire you, is what's coming through with the Four of Wands, to just be more in your soft feminine era, your receiving energy, I don't feel like I can say that out loud. I'm going to try to share what image I just received. This person wants you in a certain position, mentally, emotionally, and you can guess the rest. They are so in control of their masculine energy that the way that they just set up this world for you to exist in this like flourishing light angel energy, this is like, okay, I need to process this so that I can share fully. It's a feeling more than anything, and it just feels so good. Like this person wants to love you so good. Physically, they want to be very affectionate towards you. Now, this is somebody who, like, upon first meeting this person, or even as you're getting to know this person, they really do not show that side of them. They do not come across as affectionate or like super, you know, hands-on or anything like that. And when I tell you, like, when they do let loose in that way, when they do let go of control in that way, you have never been loved the way that you are going to be loved by this person. Knight of Wands and Page of Wands. You have never been loved the way that you are going to be loved by this person. That's crazy. Okay, Ten of Wands keeps showing up on the bottom of the decks, and the Two of Cups afterwards. Yeah, this is very connected to your energy. This is very connected to the belief of yourself. This is very connected to your resilience, specifically, is what's coming through. Like, you never gave up. This person will never give up on you. When they choose you, when they decide it's you, they are locked in. Like, this person will go through to the ends of the earth. Like, they will do anything and everything in their power to make sure that you know that you are loved and cared for, to make sure that you are loved and cared for. Like, this person is all about action, continuous, consistent, committed. This person is so committed once they decide. Thank you, Divine Spirit. This message is so good. It's just led by the heart space. Like, as much as this person is in control of their mind, they are fueled by their heart energy. Like, this person has a lot of passion for you. Divine Spirit, are there any last messages you wish to share? This feels too good. Feels like a bloom of something, like something's in bloom. Five of Swords. Okay, they really appreciate the darker sides of you, the darker edges, the sharper edges is what I'm being told. They really appreciate like your consistency. Is also what's coming through with the Strength card and the Five of Swords. Like, this person is not going to take away from you like everything that made you. This person sees how powerful you are because of like what you've been through, because of who you have become despite all of that. They see your power, okay? They have no intention of taking that away from you. They just want to give you another option of like, hey, you can be this badass, like queen, empress energy in the world as much as you want. But with me, you're baby. Like with me, you're princess. With me, you're taken care of, okay? Let yourself be taken care of by this person. Let yourself receive and release the expectations. Let go of the control, because when I tell you the control that this person has, if you are going to attempt to be in any sort of control with this energy, with this person, you're going to be met with so much resistance, because the amount of power that this person has in the control of themselves, it's like you cannot be. You just completely have to surrender. And by the way, the reason this person has so much power and control is because they do not abuse that power. This person does not abuse that power. And so you can trust this energy. You are safe in letting go of control and just trusting and falling back into your own energy, into continuing to build your kingdom, into continuing to reap the love and the rewards that this universe is offering you at this time. My God, you are so loved. You are so supported, and you are so guided by this. Your angels are working to bring you two together. Trust that. If you do feel called to dive into your personal love connection, readings are available through my website. You can click the link in my bio. Okay, I'm receiving the message that somebody is coming in to sweep you off your feet. And there's not really much that you have to do aside from just be open to receiving it. So maybe just spending more quality time on your own even. So this is somebody that you've kind of had a feeling about for a while. Like maybe you've been receiving intuitive feelings and messages and signs and symbols. And you've also been waiting for this for a really long time is what I'm being told. So I'm just going to pull a couple of cards here to hopefully provide you some peace and clarity surrounding whatever it is you need to know about this love connection. Okay, this is crazy how in alignment this is, because I've seen pairs of crows all morning. And if you research what pairs of crows means, so crows mate for life. It's basically like symbolizing a long-lasting relationship and basically saying you've found the one. And the Two of Hearts came out. Swans also mate for life. So this makes me believe that you found your person. Like this is your person. Something about old photos is very significant here. So maybe you're going to be reminiscing over old photos. But we also have the Three of Hearts and the Queen of Wands. Okay, I'm receiving the message that this person has never found somebody quite like you. And there's also this message coming through that nobody does it like you. And so moving into this connection, it feels like you are really supposed to know your worth, your power, and everything that you are, because this person is going to come in and see that in you and say, like, this person is going to come to the realization that they're not going to meet somebody like you twice. Like, you're somebody who doesn't come around often. And when you do, like when you enter into people's lives, you change lives. Like you enter somebody's life to be a blessing. You are somebody who has never taken from somebody else. You're learning to receive, but you're literally somebody who's never taken from somebody else when it comes to love and relationships. Like you've never needed something from somebody else. This person is going to come in and meet certain needs that you've never had met in a relationship before. They're going to nurture kind of like the more needy parts of you, the parts of you that maybe in the past you've always been told you're too much, or it's like, I feel like people have always been overwhelmed in a connection with you, and you've been overwhelmed. It just feels like you've carried a lot of energy that does not belong to you in past relationships. And this person is going to come in and show you that it wasn't you. Like you were never the problem, is what's coming through. And we have the Queen of Wands, like the way that you light up this person's day and the way that you light up this person's life, they're not going to need to search anywhere else, is what I'm also being told. Like they're really not going to need to, because you have everything this person needs.